Do you know the best strategy for deciding if a bet is over or undervalued? I'll give you a hint. It has nothing to do with the color of the players' helmets. Most of the time. Welcome to Grid Money. Welcome to Grid Money. This is going to be your location for all advice, speculation, and tips on anything football this year. Doesn't matter if it's fantasy, daily fantasy, or if you're looking for a good line to lay down. We're going to cover it all at some point this year, so stick with us. You can find us anywhere podcasts are downloaded. We're on YouTube, and be sure to check out Knowtheodds.net. We're going to be updating our value bets of the week on the website, so go check us out there. Glad to be here with you. We're going to be talking about betting lines, why they're where they're at, and how to tell if they're actually good lines or not from a bettor's perspective. Because there's two perspectives. You got your perspective as a bettor, and you get the bookies who set the lines who have a completely different goal when it comes to setting those lines up. What are those goals that they have? They are not at all interested in predicting accurate outcomes of the game. The bookmaker's goal when they set a line in anything, it doesn't matter if it's football or whether or not Area 51 is going to get raided in September, the goal of the bookie is to make either side equally desirable to the bettor. They want an even amount of people betting for either team. Say that there's a team that's a favorite and the casino sets up the lines and 90% of the population goes and bets for the favorite team. That is a terrible position for the casinos to be in, because they now have a 50% chance of making it huge if that team loses, or losing it all if that team with everybody on it, or if that team with everybody on it happens to win. That's gambling, and believe it or not, the casinos are not in the business of gambling. There's a reason that the house always wins, and this strategy has gotten them there so far. They want to set up a game or a line where 50% of the people are on one side, 50% are on the others, ideally. That way, when a team loses, the loser's bets go to pay off the winner's earnings, and the casino keeps the juice in the middle. Usually about 10% of whatever everybody bets. That's the surefire way that casinos have found to make money. It's working for them, and they're not going to move away from it. And that's fine. It's possible for the casino to make money with 50% on either side, and for you as the bettor to be making money, making bets on the right side of the prediction. Not that you care about the casino making money, but it is possible for everybody to be happy in the end of the game when it's all said and done. By the way, you can go and look up what the consensus is on some of these bets. I know the Odds Shark has a consensus section on its website, and you can go look to see what percentages of people are betting on what's the sides of the lines. It's not uncommon to see 90% of people betting on one side or the other. That doesn't mean that it's a for sure win and you should jump on with a bandwagon. It just means that the casino probably messed up at some point guessing who's going to be the more popular team, and they didn't make the underdog desirable enough. You're still going to have to figure out whether that's a good value bet. Don't just take the word of 90% of the population, because 90% of the population could be wrong. Let's talk a little bit more about how the bookmakers get to these lines that they're setting up. It used to be 100% human input, and I would have loved to have been a part of the old Vegas sports books before computers got involved, where it's all just a madhouse of people with chalk in front of chalkboards writing numbers and speculating, and bribes probably getting thrown all over the place. It was a madhouse that the computer has thankfully solved, but also made a lot less exciting. Nowadays, football has some of the best stats out there, and with those stats come computer programs that can analyze them very accurately and give you some very solid predictions. I'd say probably the bookmaker's job is 80% done by a computer, and you still got that 20% human input, which is always going to be necessary, but it's becoming less and less as time goes on. So, the bookies set the lines. They hope everybody's going to be betting evenly. They think they've made the underdog desirable enough to where people will take a chance on them, and they've made the favorite team pay out a little less desirable, so less people will consider taking them. People start making their bets. The lines are going to change, and they will continue to change all the way up until kickoff. Why is that? Well, it's possible that they misjudged how strongly the population of bettors were feeling about a certain favorite team. They didn't make the underdog desirable enough, and the payout for the favorite is just too big. Or it could all come down to location. Here's something that we're going to have to start dealing with, especially starting in the 2008. It might not be a problem by the 2020 season. Let's say Denver is playing in New York against the Giants on a Sunday night. There's going to be a lot of action on the game. However, Denver has not legalized sports betting. There's ways to do it, but it's fairly difficult. They're working on it, but it's still not quite all the way there. New Jersey and New York is where most of the bets out of America are coming from. You better believe that there's going to be a lot more bets going towards the Giants than are going to be going towards the Broncos. Doesn't matter if the Broncos are going to be favored to win by 20 points. There's still going to be a huge majority of people taking the Giants over the Broncos simply because of the location that the game is played. The bookie is going to try to compensate for that, but there is huge potential that they are going to overvalue or undervalue one of those teams as a result in an attempt to get even action on either side. Here's another thing that's going to affect line changes. When a line comes out, the smart bettors make their bets. Smart is a term referred to as the very highly informed bettors. It's a terrible names, but you got sharp and square bettors. Sharps are the ones that know that what they're doing. Squares are all those people that are going to be betting on the Giants just because they're the home team and they don't really care about the lines. That's a square bet. When sharps throw down their money, and if there's enough of them and the line is undervalued, there could be enough money put down on one side or the other that it motivates the bookie to change it. Again, that doesn't mean that they're changing it to be a more accurate prediction of what's going to happen. They're still just trying to get even action on either side. Depending on which way it moves, it could create an overvalued or undervalued bet for one of those teams. And it's something to be watching for. Now, in order to decide whether or not a bet is under or overvalued, you need to kind of become a handicapper yourself. And that sounds difficult, but we're going to help you through it in very great detail. So stick with us. As you get more and more accurate, here's what you got to start doing. Become your own bookie. Set your own lines. Before you look at the Vegas lines, go look up the schedule and create your own lines, totals, whatever. Just give what you think is going to be. Put in your research, and you get faster at it as time goes on. Check us out at knowtheodds.net to get more details of what you're actually supposed to be looking for. But you get quicker at it and more smooth at coming up with these lines. And you're just going to be practicing for the first couple of weeks, maybe, until your lines end up matching what Vegas is putting out or what is accurately happening happening on the fields. Once you get confident at setting your own lines, compare them to the Vegas lines that when they come out. And they're probably going to be mostly all the same because you've done your research, they've done their research, and you've both come to the same conclusion. But every now and then, usually multiple times a week, you're going to see one of your lines that doesn't match at all what Vegas is putting out. That's where you need to start investigating. Why is Vegas putting up a different line than what you think is an accurate prediction? It's very likely that their lines are skewed because they're looking for even action, not an accurate prediction of what is going to happen like you are. If that's the case, there you go. You found your undervalued bet. You can start deciding on how you want to play that strategy based on the circumstances. But there's nothing more fun than finding that first bet that you know is undervalued or overvalued. And even if it doesn't pay out, you know that you've made a good bet. And there's nothing more fun than that. Hey, we're getting close. We only got a few weeks to go. I'm excited. I'm excited to be doing this with you guys this year. Stay informed, do your research. Good luck. Have fun, guys.